Hello, I'm EpiXSlick and welcome back to some Minecraft news video. Today I have some pretty important news to share with you all, and it's to do with Minecraft Bedrock and the multiple aquatic update situation. So you might have already heard about this because obviously, the aquatic update is being split into multiple segments. We heard that a few weeks ago, and then it turned out instead of 3 segments, it was going to be 2 updated aquatics, and it's led to this big confusion of how many updated aquatics are there going to be, and what exactly are they going to be called. And I think now, because of all the comments we've had over the past few weeks, I finally managed to piece it together, and I figured I'd share exactly what that is, because I'm sure if I was confused, some of you will be too. So hopefully you'll enjoy this video where we go over each of those updates, explain them in brief, and then give you a good idea of when we'll be expecting them, because there's a clear order, as well as what they'll be called. Like if you do like it, because it's the best way to let me know that you do like the Minecraft news and want to keep on seeing it on this channel. So let's get straight into the very first one we want to go through, because I want to explain the situation so far, because Helen Angel explained on the 2nd of May that there is going to be 3 update aquatic releases for Bedrock. The first one, which will be with Javas, is going to have kelp, fishes, etc. It will have coral, but the coral won't be perfect. It won't be like Java's yet. And then she, later clarifies that the second release will have turtles and all of the cool turtle stuff, and then the third release will have the phantoms. So there's going to be 3 updated aquatics. That's what we knew at the, at the start of May. That's where we're fairly certain that, like, yay, although the update's going to be in 3 forms, it means we'll get one of the forms, earlier than we were otherwise expecting, and that we're going to get it in 3 little batches, which is actually an interesting way to receive Minecraft updates. We've never had a 3 part before, but then as soon as, the first phase came out as a big surprise just last week, we had this announcement on the official Minecraft.net website where they said, what's phase 1? Think of this as a 2-part release. That's right, 2-part, with phase 1 containing the first wave of aquatic update features. Phase 2 with the remaining features will be coming soon too. Then it kind of clarifies that the Java version will just be receiving 1 update aquatic, and that's very soon. But yeah, this kind of confused a lot of people because, okay, so is it 2 phases or is it 3 phases? It didn't really seem to add up, and a lot of people just kind of went with, okay, I guess it must be 2, because obviously if you hear one thing, then you hear something that conflicts with it later. The later thing kind of overwrites the first thing, because if they say 2 phases now, clearly they just combine the last 2 into 1, or they decided, 2 makes more sense than 3. But no, it seems like both of these statements are true, and it took me a really long time to wrap my head around that. And a part of that was the lack of any, real official announcement as to like, oh yeah, there definitely is 2, or there definitely is 3. We just had 2 single pieces of conflicting information, and it was like, that's kind of odd. And the phase 2 beta is obviously rolling out right now. In the background, you're seeing some gameplay of the phase 2 aquatic update beta, but it was never really explained, like, so is that the final phase we're seeing? It's just like left up in the air, left a question. But I think the explanation for this has been something that I understood a lot better when I saw some Tanner Pearson tweets regarding a few features like the phantom and like map markers and stuff. Because when someone asks, Tanner Pearson, again, one of the Minecraft Bedrock developers, he worked on the new water and a lot of other cool Bedrock features from the phase 1. He says phantoms will come after phase 2 of the update aquatic, in response to someone asking about when it will be releasing, which is odd because, okay, if it's coming out after phase 2 of the update aquatic, then does that mean that, like, there's some other just mystery 1.6 update coming in the nearest future? That's kind of an odd thing that you wouldn't expect. Like, the phantom is a part of the PC 1.13 aquatic update, but it's not part of the Bedrock one. And I think, the second tweet right here, where he clarifies that I'm guessing after part 2 of the update aquatic, there will be an update that adds all of the little features to the game alongside the phantom. And then Tanner Pearson says, indeed, just because the update aquatic is out doesn't mean there won't be updates. And at first I took that as like, yeah, of course, 1.5 or the aquatic update part 2 is not going to be the last update ever. But I think, when you put that into context with all of these statements, all of the things that I've said so far can be true. It's just kind of tricky to work it out. So Helen Angel says there's going to be 3 phases of the aquatic update. And when she says that, she's talking about the aquatic update in terms of the PC, the larger update that we'd previously expected up until that point, including phantoms, including new, tile types, including strip wood, including all these huge things, aquatic mostly, but also non-aquatic. And then, aquatic phase 1 comes out, and it has a lot of easy features like strip wood and like new pressure plates and stuff like that, alongside some of the update aquatic. Then clearly at some point, maybe a week or 2 before, phase 1 release, they decided instead of calling it like a 3-phase update, why not just, make the first 2 phases focus on every single aquatic feature, so that if you're excited for the aquatic update, you can experience all the aquatic stuff as soon as possible. Like if you can focus on some features for the first 2, focus on every single water-based feature in this update. And that's why when they made the announcement that it was coming out today and you could go download it, they said it's part 1 of a 2-part update, a 2-phase update, because there's phase 1 and then there's phase 2 very, very shortly afterwards, containing all of the features in between them. And then obviously the third update, it's not that that's been cancelled, it's not that all the features have been moved into the second update, it's that every single other feature within the aquatic update has been consigned to this third update. And given that we know that, the phase 2 beta has been out for quite some time, again, you're seeing it in the background, if you look at the top there, it says beta 1.5. This current update that you will have if you don't have a beta is called 1.4, so clearly the next update is not going to be 1.4.2, it's going to be called the 1.5 update. It sounds like, at least based on that beta name, which confused everyone at first, but now it's making more sense. Oh, that's the 1.5 update. So, 1.4 is Aquatic Phase 1, 1.5 is Aquatic Phase 2, and then there's going to be another update. As Tanner Pearson confirms here, there's going to be another, phase of this update. There's going to be another type of update, but it's not necessarily going to be linked to these first two. And there might be, there's a few reasons they might want to do that. One, again, getting all the aquatic features in 2 updates seems better than 3 in some little way. And the second reason is so they're not like kind of time released. They're not on this time pressure to release that third update. And the fourth one is that they might want to make it its own update with its own defined kind of like themes and stuff like that. Because right now, having to go by Aquatic Update Phase 1 and Aquatic Update Phase 2, it's not as exciting as if each, phase had its own big identity. Like, Phase 1, oceans changed entirely. Phase 2 is the oceans filling with life and bubbles and all these other, big features you expect and things getting better. It's kind of like, Aquatic Update and then Aquatic Plus Update. That sounds way more exciting than just Part 1 and Part 2. Again, most people don't like parts compared to big, new, exciting things, and I think a part of that might be, in play here. So the third part of the update is likely going to get its own name when it comes to Minecraft, on Bedrock platforms, and it's going to just be called the 1.6 update. Right now, we have no idea what's going to be inside there besides the rest of the Aquatic Update. In fact, they might not even be planning anything beyond that, but it seems like they're leaving the door open to not just necessarily include Aquatic Update features, but to include other things as well. And given that we know that for 1.3, back when, the update Aquatic was called 1.3, we know one of the things they were planning were to add, say, custom superplaster amplified. That's a good opportunity to add that. That's still fairly high up on the list of things. Stuff like map markers and other stuff like that will be in there too, and that is what you can expect. So yeah, that is how I understand the kind of conflicting stuff we heard for some time now. That's how I understand the confusion of the beta 1.5 coming out before 1.4, which was already a replacement for 1.3. I think there is a huge like kind of thing here where they've kind of organized updates to be their own big things, and I think that's a good thing in general for the game. I think having because there's 3 updates. 1.4 is obviously came out this month. 1.5, I had to guess, is probably planned for sometime next month. Just before the Switch release of Bedrock, maybe just after. Again, hard to be certain, but I know we'll be seeing a beta sometime soon, so we can keep an eye on the progress there. Then we've got 1.6, which is going to be filling in the rest, stuff like phantoms, stuff like map markers, maybe other stuff. We'll have to wait and see, which will come another month or 2 after that. And given that now is summertime and they've realized that, especially with Minecraft Bedrock, that is a version of the game that has a very high, like young player base, which means that the best time to release updates is obviously during the summer. And that therefore makes me think that all 3 of these updates are kind of like a part of the summer of updates. Like one's at the start of May, where I believe some stuff, like some parts of the world start their summer. One's going to be like in the heat of like June/July, where everywhere in the world's definitely in summer. And then one's going to be somewhere closer towards the end. At least those are my predictions. And one more thing before I go here, because I like to not only give my what's going on and then a little bit of my thoughts, I want to also tack on some of the thoughts about this, because I know some of you like to hear that. So let me just talk about the version number thing, because I think something I see may be happening here, like one of the grand schemes of this that potentially could be happening. Again, this is purely my opinion, just based on what we're seeing, based on the fact that Minecraft Java combined 2 updates into one, and even though Minecraft Java is updating faster than ever, 2 updates a year is phenomenally fast, so whoever's decision that was is clearly doing good there. The fact that they combined 2 updates into one, it kind of means they were going backwards in updates. Like, they took what should have been Minecraft 1.14 and took it into 1.13, whereas Minecraft on the Bedrock version has kind of done the opposite. What was going to be 1.3 has turned into 1.4, 1.5, and 1.6, and, that means that the disparity between the version numbers is slowly catching up, and maybe that's the end plan. Again, I'm not entirely certain. That there are some big things happening in Minecraft. We can't be certain about all of them, but I think it's interesting regardless, and if that does happen, then I'd like it to be known that I called it here first. But anyway, I'm excited about 1.5 and 1.6. I'm still enjoying 1.4, honestly. Like, there's so many things that I'm going to be playing around with over the next few days that you can check out and see on this channel. Thank you very much for watching this video, and like it if you liked it. Give me the bell if you want to feed my insatiable desire for, I guess, attention, and I guess I'll see you all in the next video. Have a nice day. Bye.